Hey Dymond.
Hi.
So really quick before we get into some serious topics, what's a recent restaurant recommendation you would give to our audience?
I went to this Mexican restaurant called Muchachos. It's kind of by like the Beltline, and their shrimp burrito is so good.
Yes.
Like I've been meaning to go back for it.
Okay, shrimp anything, honestly, especially when you tie it into Mexican. I love Mexican, so I feel you. And Dymond, can you tell us a little bit about your background pertaining to growing up with projections from maybe family or friends or anyone else that was around you?
Yeah, I feel like at a very young age, when it came to like my physical appearance, like outwardly appearance, a lot of times like my family, as far as like my parents, maybe cousins and aunts, and like even growing up as I started getting like more friends as I got older, like my friends would project things onto me.
Right.
As far as like I guess like their own insecurities, even when they came as like into dating and stuff like that, I would get projected stuff onto me, and that really affected me a lot as I got older.
Got you. Okay, and what are your top 3 comments that you remember from growing up that pertain to either your body or just your overall appearance?
My top 3 would be that I have really clear skin. That I'm like too skinny or just like really skinny, like really as far as like my weight, and then me having small boobs.
Okay. Wow. So Dymond, from what I've heard you tell me so far, we've had comments about you being too skinny, your skin being too nice, and also comments about your chest. Can you go a little more into those comments and how they affected you?
Yes. So I guess I'll start with the small boobs.
Okay.
When I was younger, I kind of hit puberty late than all of like my friends. So I remember being in middle school and elementary school, and like my friends started getting boobs, but I didn't realize it was like a problem or anything until I think I was in 7th grade, and I was the only girl in the locker room still wearing a sports bra. Not a sports bra, but like a training bra. And I didn't think it was like a problem until like I was changing, and a girl commented on, I'm like, why are you still wearing a training bra? And basically brought it up in front of everyone, and then they kind of like were looking at me weird, and I didn't realize it was a problem until like that moment. And that, I feel like that really sparked my insecurity in like having small boobs, because back then I was flat chested. Like I had nothing going on. And so that really bothered me. So, and also like I remember like my mom, I like a weird dynamic with like my mom, so she didn't really pay attention to me as much. So she didn't really realize, oh, it's time to upgrade you from the little training bras until let's get you at least like a bra with some type of padding, so it looks like you have something going on.
Get you like some actual cups.
Yeah, so I didn't really get like my first bra until like high school. So I was still wearing training bras all the way up to like ninth grade, and I think I had to buy like my own like actual bra because I felt so insecure with like my boobs and stuff. So that's a little bit about that. When it came to me being too skinny, it was more so a mixture of compliments from like family members, and also a mixture of kind of like negative comments from family members and friends about me being too skinny. Of like people would either be like, oh, like you have like a nice shape, and if I was like your size, I would wear this, and like I want to wear this, or you're too skinny. Do you eat? Like, do you eat enough? Do you eat 3 times?
So
do you eat 3 times a day? Or we might be somewhere, and someone might offer me their food, like, oh, like you need it more than me, and I'm like,
wow.
I eat like just like everyone else. Like I eat a lot, but I just don't gain any weight. So that really bothered me a lot, because I didn't realize like I can't control like my weight. So what can I do to make myself bigger? Or you know, so that started from like a very young age, like just from family members commenting, oh, like she's so frail. I remember the word frail a lot, like, oh, like you're so frail, you're so skinny. Kind of like sometimes comparing me to the kids in Africa, like, oh, like it's like you're starving yourself. I'm like, I'm not anorexic or anything. I eat a lot. It just doesn't go anywhere.
And were you very active too as a kid? Like, were you in sports, or were you just...
I wasn't in sports, but I was always outside, like playing, like riding like my bike, scooter, pogo stick, playing basketball, playing football with like the boys in like the neighborhood and like my brother and stuff. So I was active, but I still ate them.
Mm-hmm. And then when it came to boys specifically, because I can imagine that you heard a lot of these comments from like some of the women in your family or like other young girls around you, but did it hit any different when you would hear things about yourself from young men?
Yeah, so ironically, if on like a percentage scale, most of the comments came from women.
Right.
Like at least a good 80% of the comments came from women. But when it came from men, it made me feel like you wouldn't want me, or like you wouldn't want to date me, or even like you wouldn't even be attracted to me because of like my weight, or because I don't have big boobs like my other friends would have, and stuff like that. So it really did bother me. And like the boys at school would kind of like make small comments about like how you have no boobs, or like you're flat, or really the term flat a lot. Even though I have like a little bit of boobage, it'll be flat. Like I ain't got nothing, because
like
it was nothing.
See it out here,
Yeah, basically. So that bothered me like a lot, because it's like I'm like a teenager. I can't have surgery for like bigger boobs, and I can't do anything about it. So I remember like I used to pray to God, like, God, please give me bigger boobs. Like,
that is so relatable. Yes, I actually remember, just to get vulnerable here, I used to stuff my bra in elementary school with the same situation with the training bras, and just looking around the locker room, or just looking around like anywhere with my friends, and they're wondering why I don't look like them, or why my chest isn't the same size as theirs. And we're all around the same age, but blossoming so differently. So I can definitely understand that. And I can imagine how crucial it is to hear it from a younger boy as well, because as you start growing up and getting into dating, and which I want to touch on that a little bit too, you realize, like you said, it makes you feel like less desirable, and less of like the woman that they will want you to be, or the girl that they want to bring home. And that's just, it'll really eat you up if you let it. So to touch on dating just a little bit, how did that affect you going into starting to be romantic with boys and take them seriously in that aspect?
A lot of times, because I wasn't confident enough in like my weight and like with like my boobs, I kind of felt like guys weren't attracted to me, or they were more so attracted to me because like my personality versus like my body. So a lot of times, like I would feel really insecure, and I didn't really start dating until, like, I'll have crushes on guys, but I got rejected a lot as like a kid. So I didn't really start dating until after high school, but like my body started developing more, but I was still like skinny. So I feel like I got more attention from men when like I think like my senior year, going into like college, I gained like some weight, so I got thicker. And like a lot of like people noticed, like, oh yeah, like you got thicker, like
it's always thicker.
Yeah, thicker. But it's like I was still like slim, but I got thicker. I had more like hips and like a shape. And that's when I realized more guys started paying me more attention and started noticing more, because like my body started developing more. And that made me feel like, oh, like guys like me for me, even though it's like they're liking me because I'm more developed. Even guys in high school that rejected me started liking me more, or being like, I always liked you. I always thought that you were pretty and attractive.
Coming out the woodwork.
Yeah, come out of nowhere. And I'm like, I felt like Mike Jones, like back then you didn't want me, but now
you might. Yes, we just said that with our last guest. I totally understand that. And even speaking of like preferences and figuring out what you want growing up, especially with young men, I feel like social media definitely takes it plays a large part in them figuring out, and even young women, not to exclude us, but just people in general figuring out like what you want to see, what you prefer to go after in life. And it can be very dangerous, because it puts this idea in our heads that this is what I see online, so it has to be real out here somewhere. And like you said, it leads to a lot of rejections, which hurt self-esteem and confidence and that type of thing. So what would you say is your stance on social media and like expectations that the, I guess, Instagram baddies have to keep up with?
I don't really like the whole Instagram baddie thing, because I feel like with them, everyone is trying to go for like the same, I guess, body shape, like body style, like the BBL look. And to be honest, it's not natural. God didn't create all of us to look the same and to be built the same. Like we're all are made to have different shapes and sizes and colors and stuff for like a reason. But now I feel like it's becoming too uniformed. Of everyone is trying to look exactly like kind of like Kim Kardashian or something like that type shape, and it's not okay. Because sometimes when I'm on social media, it's like I might have like a good like a confidence day, like a good confidence day. I'm like, oh yeah, like my body's good, like I'm good, and like I get on Instagram and see this girl with like 20,000 likes, and like she has like her body out, nice boobs, nice butt, like the whole like Instagram baddie look, and I'm like back at zero.
Yes, it immediately starts to dwindle.
Immediately starts.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to be on social media and see what people like versus what you have, like.
Yes.
You know, so it's very hard.
That was very well spoken. I like what you said, where it's hard to see what people like and what they prefer, and then look at yourself and it's like, well, I guess I'm not there yet, but I'm trying my best. And then to go back to what you were mentioning about having pretty skin or having your skin be too pretty, did that ever leave you feeling excluded from conversations or topics that you felt were important to you, like because maybe you didn't get it or you didn't struggle with bad skin?
Yeah, like a lot of times when people brought up having like acne or very bad skin, they never looked to me for anything. So it's like, oh, like you always had good skin, so we're not gonna ask you about anything. You know, we're not gonna like you're not included with us, and this is like our negative thing that we have to like bond over, and you're not including in this. And it made me feel bad for like I didn't ask. It's like thank God I had clear skin, but it's not like I was just born this way. Like I'm sorry, like you know. So it felt like I was being punished for me being who like I was.
Right. And that's definitely something you can't control. Even though it's a really good thing to have beautiful skin, it still looks very beautiful now. It's something that, no problem. It's something that like you wouldn't think you would receive hate for, or receive like this cold shoulder, or make you feel like you're less than because you can't relate to that. So that's just very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. So lastly, I do want to slide into asking you, how did you begin to finally let go and release all of the pressures that were behind beauty standards?
One thing that helped me is usually what like I do is I take time from social media. So that allows me to really sit with like myself and not have those outside forces feeding into like my mind all the time.
The detox.
Yeah. So really just taking like that social media detox. But I think when I started going on, I guess developing like my self-love for like myself as I got older, of really accepting who like I am and the things that I can't change from the inside and out, I think that made me realize you have to like, you're gonna have this body for the rest of like your life.
Exactly.
So you have to learn to really be comfortable in like your own skin. And that took me spending time by like myself and looking in the mirror of like, okay, what do you like about yourself? Okay, you like your eyes, you like your face, you like your head shape, you like this and that. What don't you like about yourself? Okay, you don't like X, Y, and Z. Well, why don't you like this? You know, and really getting into the deeper roots of why don't you like this about you? Was it because of how you always felt, or was it because of what someone said to you previously before? And a lot of times I realized it was because of what someone said to me previously before that planted like that seed that grew into like a weed, not a flower, not a tree, but like a weed that was a poisonous weed in like every area of like my life. So it's just like now I have to go back, sadly, and pick up these weeds that people have planted, and just realize there's nothing wrong with like having small boobs. There's nothing wrong with being skinny. Like it says you being comfortable and confident in like yourself. And I realized a lot of people, as I got older and started dating more, a lot of men, the things that we worry about, men don't care about.
They really don't.
They don't care about at all.
That's such a good point.
Like they love like natural bodies. Like they don't care about the whole BBL thing. Like of course it looks like appealing to like the eye, but when you really get down to it and they see like our actual like naked body, they love like us, like our flaws and everything, like stretch marks, us being skinny, small boobs, like unclear skin. Yeah, it's just like the things that we are so insecure about, they actually like.
Yeah.
So once I started dating more, I realized, oh, y'all don't care. It's a us thing. Like really, a lot of the problems are within us, and we have to deal with that. And once we start changing that into us being more confident, that attracts more people, not just like men, but like even like more like friends, business things. It's like when you walk with confidence, and people can see that confidence, feel the confidence. It's like that's what makes you I'm not saying that's what makes you beautiful, but that's also what helps you to be like more comfortable in like yourself with like, I'm the only one that doesn't care about it. No one else is thinking about me like I think people are thinking about me.
It really brings out that pull in you. And even sitting here conversing with you now, like I feel your confidence. And I feel it in the words that you speak and just talking about your past and how it affected you, but how you found a way to grow through that. And it's really like radiating off of you. I love the energy. You're so welcome. But thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you being vulnerable with us and sharing your story with our audience. And I hope that you have a wonderful day.
Thank you, you too.